Check.
But you want to speak in English only?
Yeah, let's go with English.
Yeah.
And then maybe at the end of it we go with a bit German. We'll
Sure.
see.
Did you watch Words at all?
I watched a bunch. I've of course followed the LEC teams.
Yeah.
I was just on the way watching the draw.
Uh-huh.
I'm curious who you'll be cheering for tomorrow.
I mean, my pick'ems, they tell me.
Come on, man.
T1, they sent me lots of jerseys. Movistar never. They never did.
Oh, okay.
I'm easily bought. Just give me a jersey and I'm biased.
No, there's no question for me. I'm going to be all in cheering for MKOI tomorrow.
Check. Alright, Chat. Sound ist fein? Bisschen lauter beide wäre super. Okay, ich kann ein bisschen lauter machen, kein Problem.
It's so fun to be here now. On the other side of the stream,
Ja. Bei euch nochmal 5 Dezibel drauf. Alright, but we're primarily here to talk about Worlds, of course, and about LEC, of course, because you guys just announced big changes. Mm-hmm. And I gotta say, for me personally, I really love the fact that we have less franchising, because that's what it feels like. You guys are like lightening a bit up on franchising, allowing 2 different teams to come into the LEC, which is kind of exciting because obviously lots of teams, even Eintracht Spanner, let's say from the German scene, or even obviously also Tones, you can never grow up, you can never go further. And now it's kind of possible, so that's really cool. But it offers some issues. So yeah, I don't know what question to ask first. Perhaps you want to address first what your guys' thought process was behind allowing it now as opposed to previously to, for example, K-Cup?
Sure. First I want to say that there will be a difference between the LEC versus and then the LEC spring and summer split, right? So we're not allowing these teams to play like in the LEC proper. So we're creating a brand new competition, brand new product for 10 LEC teams and for two best performing ARL teams. We saw that there is a lot of interest from the fans to see the LEC teams play more against the tier 2 teams. We thought, hey, there is a way to make it happen. So we are bringing this competition in January. Yeah, gonna be very fun.
I understand, but this just sounds like business English to me. It's like you guys are saying LEC versus not LEC, but it's even called LEC. It sounds to like a casual fan, you guys are just lightening up the LEC registration, I guess. So you're allowed to introduce new teams to an LEC level tournament, even though it's not LEC. Which kind of feels like, especially what I think Yamato Cannon and other people mentioned in their reactions, the partners are not too happy about it. Kameto had like his famous crash out on stream. Ibai did some tweets, I don't know how far you guys are allowed to address this, but it feels like the LEC partners did not want this. And you guys just call it a different tournament and then it's fine?
So we work very closely with all the LEC teams. They are our trusted partners. We have a fantastic relationship with them. We have a long-term agreement with these teams, and in this agreement, there are certain things that teams have to vote on for them to happen. There are things that we need to consult with the teams to happen, right? And there are things where LEC has flexibility to make things happen, right? In all these scenarios, like even in the ones where we can just go and make things happen, we always talk to the teams and we ask for their feedback. Our agreement specifically, it allows us to create competitions like LEC versus, and that is something that all LEC teams agreed on together with the league, right? When we entered into this partnership. I understand the emotions can fly high on social media, and I understand that not everybody may like this format, but at any given moment there are tons of things that we discuss together with the team owners, right? On most of these things we agree, and proceed together. On some things we have disagreements from either way, but they're always managed in a very respectful manner. Teams are pushing us, we are pushing them to be the better league in the LEC case, and then teams to be the better teams. And whenever we have these disagreements, right? At the end of the day, we're always finding a solution, to move forward, and we're always respecting the partner agreement we have with the teams that we agreed on.
So what you're basically saying is, at the start, you guys agreed to a certain contract, And the contract always stated that this kind of tournament is allowed, right? You could always have LEC versus, you can always introduce more tournaments.
Yeah, when teams joined the LEC, like there was always part of the agreement that like that type of competition can happen.
Okay, then I'm just curious, like if all partners said no, why is it happening now? Even though I guess you're contractually allowed to do this, but the partners did not want this, and yet you still just do it.
Yeah, so like one thing I would say that on the old teams just said no. Like there is more nuance to this, right?
Okay.
Like this is one part of the picture that's been shown like online. There's a lot more like nuance and feedback from the teams and part they like and dislike about this competition. We ultimately believed, like based on like for us, fan feedback is #1 priority. We saw that fans want to see more competitions, more opportunities for ARL teams to play the LEC teams.
Yeah.
Like there is already competitions happening in this space, right? Organized by third parties like Red Bull League of its own. There are so much competitions that teams organize themselves, like in the off season, that exist.
Yes.
But we felt like there is an appetite for even more for something that is being organized by Riot, and we decided to try it out. We decided to try it in winter. Doesn't mean that it will happen again, in 27. Like this is us thinking what would be best, for the fans. What would be fun to try out. We're gonna learn from it and see how it goes after.
2 thoughts regarding this topic. Me as a fan, I love this. I love Lost at Homes being able to play.
Glad to hear.
I mean, I love just like going up from EU Masters and promoting, and also K-Cup Blue or Heretics, whoever wins EU Masters this time. But to your second point, you just mentioned a bunch of tournaments like Red Bull League of its own, which are not organized by Riot and they're not really connected to anything. But if you win LEC Versus, you essentially go to first stand, which allows your region to have a better seeding for MSI and even Worlds. So this is connected. So it's like a different thing. No, it's even branded as LEC, yet it's not LEC. So I kind of understand the sentiment, especially of the French community, who are like, well, we founded Kamiko, or Kameto did, to essentially do this, which Lost at Home is allowed to do now for free. Why did we have to buy in?
Look, I want to acknowledge like the concerns and frustration from some fans. Me talking, on the broadcast today is one of the ways how we want to just be more clear, like in our communications and answer the questions from the fans. I think over the past couple of years, we became more open to experimentation, like with our formats. I would say, like 2-3 years ago, the competition structure was more rigid. Where now we have a global agreement that the first competition before first stand is where we are experimenting, where we are trying like new things. So our appetite for experimentation like grew over time. I also want to highlight that these teams that are not getting into LEC for free, right? The LEC teams who have partnership agreement with the LEC, they have a variety of different privileges that they have, right? They have such as they have access to the spring split, summer split, and direct invitation to the Versus. So they are playing in all the competition that we are organizing, and we are increasing the number of matches next year, right? So overall, they do have a commercial relationship with Riot, where they have a revenue share from various skins we sell in game, from the team emotes we sell that are created by the team. So there is a lot of different incentives for them, right? And there is a way for them to earn money from the league. And of course, like we are here, I think all teams are here for long term. They're here to build like a really cool brand together. The LEC, right? We've been here for a while. I work on any given day. I talk to the LEC teams, right? And I see how passionate they are about like building this brand together, and ultimately like both the league and the teams growing together over time. Versus participating in a one-off competition that is designed to trial this like how would this rivalry play out within the ARL teams and the LEC teams.
I think also one thing you can't mention, but I can say it, is like any LEC team who's worried about losing to a new Masters winner should probably behave differently in terms of roster and in terms of competition drive, I guess.
Like, I mean, hearing you talking about versus, you know, and how like excited you are about the potential like rivalries and what will happen, I think that's the intent that we wanted to capture. And look as well, like on the point of the overall year structure. 3-4 years ago, we only had spring split and summer split, right? So we will have spring split and summer split next year with a very, you know, extensive format with the single round robin best of threes, right? So like LEC teams will have access to this competition, and on top of this, like we now have like LEC versus, which is an exciting new thing like we are trying out.
So basically alluding to when franchising was initially initiated, you guys only had spring and summer, so this is now on top of the contract, which was originally a different contract.
All I'm saying is like we are like adding new products like on top of the LEC, right? LEC could have been just a spring and summer split, but I hope that the amount of show days and matches we are adding next year, like the amount of road trips that we are adding next year, is just showing that you know our intent is like we plan to growth, we have ambitious plans, and the LEC teams will benefit from that.
I love the story from going from 0 to hero. You can just win an NLC, you masters, and then you go to LEC, win the LEC versus, win first stand. But this offers kind of a problem, right? Lots of problems actually. Because what do you do if K-Corp Blue plays against K-Corp? How do you ensure competitive integrity if there's two orgs? Initially, when we had sister teams in NCK, this was always an issue, which is also why they were abolished, I believe. With the SKT, T1K, Argent, White Shield, and Sword and stuff. So if K-Corp plays against one another, what do you do about it?
Right, so just figuring out how. Exactly. So participation of the academy teams was something we discussed very closely with the LEC team owners. When we created the whole concept of the LEC versus, we were not sure ourselves, like you know, whether we should enable this or not. We discussed that with the LEC teams. We saw the strong interest from them, which is totally, you know, understandable. We don't want to, you know, let's say Lost Heretics or KCB, they win the event. We don't want them to like not participate in this new exciting competition. It will feel really bad, right? If they do it. So we realized that the best call would be to enable participation of the academy teams. That said, we are implementing guardrails to make sure that we're making sure that there is, you know, competitive integrity is in place and there's like no foul play. Like imagine we don't want, concrete example, we don't want, let's say, so we have a single round robin best of one matches, right? We don't want KC play versus KC Blue late in the end when the outcome of this game can impact, you know, their placement in the playoffs, right? So like this is one of the scenarios that we would really want to avoid. And so to protect ourselves like from this, we are implementing some, you know, rules essentially for versus. One rule is that the academy teams, they would have to play the main rosters in the LEC versus as soon as possible. So
first week.
Yeah, so first week.
Interesting.
Right. So that's one. Another one is that we are limiting the roster movement between two teams, between the academy and the main roster. So these are like the main the main rules. We are also partnering up with external companies who are also monitoring like integrity concern issues. So they're following the games and they're making sure like someone is not like losing on purpose.
How do you ensure this? If you just run it down, you just run it down, no?
Yeah, well, you know,
okay.
there are professionals who are doing this for a living, right?
Okay.
So we have a variety of measures. We spoke to the LEC teams. They thought that these measures are appropriate, right? So happy to enable academy teams playing in versus. Can create interesting rivalries and interesting matches in the versus.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It would feel terrible to exclude K-Corp Blue or even Lost Heretics, right? It would feel terrible, but I still can't imagine even if they play each other in the first week. and then let's say one of them should lose to another head-to-head opponent, they can still do this in the last week. Like let's say, for example, SK Gaming is close to coming core blue, and then Casey plays SK, and they, like manipulate the matches. How do you ensure this doesn't happen? It's like, no, they can just lose if they want to.
Yeah, I see. That's an interesting scenario. Look, we think that for the I also want to have like an ideal perfect like rule set, ideal perfect like tournament that protects us from like every single scenario. We thought that with the current rules we are implementing, we struck like the right balance, for the first iteration of this ARL versus LEC competition. Maybe we come up with some other protections, in the coming weeks. That's also possible, right? We are in constant talks like with the teams, but for now we think we got a good balance for the versus.
I do agree to this kind of sentiment that the benefits really outweigh the risks, which is like it's really slim chance anybody actually runs it down on purpose, right? It just is what it is. It should end to entertainment, which is I guess your main idea. Because I don't know if you probably noticed the public sentiment. You guys are only doing this to get lots of tons of viewership. It's like what people are saying basically on Twitter. How do you address this?
So the intent of the versus is to first and foremost to reward competitive performance, like outstanding competitive performance of the ARL teams. I know Lost Tones is a polarizing team, right?
It is, yeah.
It's hard to argue that their performance has been outstanding this year. I saw some feedback online is like, hey, you're announcing this, post factum or later in the year. And look, I would love that, us to announce everything before the 2025 season has started. That this would have been, like the cleanest and the nicest way. But we spent a lot of time this year, thinking about versus how to run it right. Discussing it with the LEC teams. It's the very first time we are doing this official competition of sorts where ARL teams meet LEC teams. So we made it a focus to announce it before the EM final to make sure that participants know the stakes of the competition. And again, the priority for us is to reward competitive performance throughout the year in the ARL competitions, in the EM competitions. Lost Tones won 3 NLCs, 2 EMs. They went pretty far in the summer, which is very formidable.
I do agree. They should not, they in 10 months they lost 1 best of 5. They should get rewarded. I think nobody doubts this. Everybody loves the hero story where you can actually, have like a promotional relegation of sorts. I believe the main question is why now? Because Casey was also similarly dominant, even more so. I think they won 4 times in a row back when there were only 2 titles a year. So they were even more dominant, and they did not get like a free entry.
Yeah,
I guess it's not LEC technically as you mentioned, but it still kind of feels like it is. So is it primarily for viewership then?
Look, it's not for viewership. It is for like the whole concept of LEC Versus is to experiment with new formats. Is to see, can we create an interesting, fun competition for our fans where ARL teams face LEC teams, create some cool storylines, and we decided that that the top priority is, or the top criteria for us to choose the teams is the competitive performance. Again, I wish we announced it all at the beginning of the year. I think now that we try it out for the first time, we learn from it. We of course we read fan feedback. We see it's very important for them. So for the future competitions, if we ever run this again, we would consider this and would aim to announce things earlier.
But you just mentioned performance should get rewarded, and it's important to you guys, which brings me to I guess my main question, which I love the changes you guys are doing, but I believe the changes which were initially implemented really restrict competition, because franchising essentially doesn't reward performance. Lost Tones can win, they just go up and they go down, they go up, they go down. They win NEC, EU Masters, go down to nothing, and then back and up and down. So is franchising just a mistake? If you want to reward performance, why shouldn't the team which wins everything go further than like a sort of LEC tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I think the part of the answer is really in your question. Like the purpose and the intent of a long-term partnership with the LEC teams is to make sure that a performance in one season is not ruining the chances of a team on a long-term horizon. Let's take like basic example. Let's say we have a team who wants to win like worlds one day, right? To do that, it's a tall order. You really need to think long-term. If you're always at a fear that you can be relegated out of the competition by the end of the year, it's harder for you to plan long term, to take risks with the new rosters. I think like G2 is not like the best example because obviously they have no problems with performance, but they can take they can create a new roster like with Skillmont and Labrov and take the streets because they know like they will stay in the LEC even if they like underperform like 1 year. So the whole purpose of the agreement with the teams is to create this like long-term like stability for the teams where they know, hey, if something doesn't work out for us this year, we can change things and try something else again next year. Think about it as well this way: like most of the revenues for the teams comes from sponsorships agreements, right?
Yeah.
And all teams want to like secure long-term sponsorships, which go 1, 2, 3, 4, and more years. It's really hard to do it if you like imagine that LEC was promotion relegation. It's really hard to come into the sponsor and say, hey, hey, we are the best team in the LEC right now, but we cannot guarantee you that we're gonna be here like next year.
Yeah, this is good for financial stability, but not for performance, right? It's way safer because you have sponsors which guarantee.
Yeah, there are drawbacks.
Yeah.
There are drawbacks that some teams they may say, hey, we are not gonna like try super hard, and we're just gonna do like bare minimum. That is something we thought of. So that is like there are rules within our agreement that regulate these things. Like if a team is like clearly like
shit for 4 years, you can keep them.
Is underperforming. Like there are clear steps that we can take together with the team, and it's not that what you mentioned. No.
Okay.
It is like engaging with a team and like making sure team creates a plan to change that, right? So like there are processes for these things as well. On our end, like there is also like benefit to have like a long-term partnership, right? Like for teams, we talked about that. For us, we also want to have our big names in the league, right? If I think of we just had like an exercise around like creative brainstorming for the LEC next year, and what we will show like on the broadcast, and we were thinking of like the words that we associate with the LEC, and G2 Fnatic is like one is one of the things in there. It's hard to imagine LEC in the world where like G2 may not be there next year, or Fnatic may not be there this year. I know like you're talking about not the top performing teams, right? But still, anything can happen, right?
I just feel like I kind of disagree with your point that stability helps competition, because you mentioned you can experiment with like Skewmon, trying people out. I kind of disagree because I think relegation really drives performance boosts, but I do realize my point is weak because LEC is not the only league that's franchised, and we have not been competitive with like LCK, who are also franchised. So it's not the only issue, I guess, but I just feel like if there was an incentive to actually play good League of Legends because you could demote, it would both boost ERLs, but because ERLs are kind of suffering, they need like an incentive to be good, and I believe also teams like like Rogue, now Navi, or like SK, would be more driven to do more to stay in the league, right?
Yeah. First of all, Rogue is an LEC champion. I think, yeah.
3 years ago.
Nevertheless, I don't want to downplay that. Come on.
Yeah, I mean,
Come on,
I don't play that.
like,
today it should
on
be
the-
played. I was complimenting this guy because he was there back then.
Nice.
Of course, but it's still 3 years ago.
Yeah. Look at the KCs, like first year, right, in the LEC.
Yeah.
They were also struggling at the beginning, and then they blew everybody out of the water in the winter split this year, right, and went second in first stand. I think the feedback is valid, like from you. Yes, like there are weaknesses like in the system as well.
Yeah.
But we believe that's the best system of everything available to us, for long-term stability of the league, of the teams, and that's what we are going with.
Cool.
And maybe as well to address like one of the questions that I saw as well from the fans, it is not on the table to change like the long-term partnership system, like with the LEC teams. I see people like speculating like, hey, is this a first step? No, like, we are, creating a new product to try out this sort of competition, to bring ERL teams and the LEC closer. But long-term plan is to stick to our long-term partnership.
I think it's really cool you are saying this clearly. But I mean, it offers a different problem now, I feel like. Because let's imagine a world where Keiko Blue actually wins LEC Versus, and they go to first stands, and they win first stands. So then you are saying our best European team is no longer permitted to play in the European League. They just won us first stand, in the perfect world, right? Which like you want to boost performance. So they win first stand, and then they're not in LEC Spring?
Well,
I'm just saying.
Okay, first of all,
it could happen.
First of all, take a step back and just think about this. How I understand, like what people like will think about, the concerns about the LEC team performance, but just imagine like what an insane story. What like would it be that you just described, right? Like, if that happens, it's a signal. It's a learning from us, right? That this is what what can happen. This is the level that ERL team can compete on, and we will take it into consideration whenever we work on the plans for next years. But I think it would be a very exciting story.
It would. But it would also suck if they were not allowed to play in spring then.
I understand. Again, like perfect is the enemy of good. We think we struck like a good balance. It's the first time ever we are trying this like ARL LEC competition. I think it's gonna be really fun.
To another point about the ERL team, which was asked a lot on Twitter, the Masters winner, EMEA Masters winner, rarely stays together, right? They usually disband, and then like last year BDS Academy, Spumont went there, and then Genex went to SK, I believe, and they all went to different. So there's a high probability that Kamiko Blue or Heretics won't stay together as they are now. So what do you do to kind of help? I mean, the slot will be not worthless, but it's connected to the players, right? Or is it not?
Yeah. So part of our rule set for the LEC Versus says that the roster should stay, the same, like 3 out of 5 players.
Interesting.
With exceptions granted on a case-by-case basis. And for us, the number one case that would enable that for more player, movement is enabling player movement from the winning AM team or returns to the LEC team.
Check.
So, look, I don't want to have, let's say, Los Heretics win AM Summer, and then them joining Versus with the completely new 5-man roster. This will not feel good. This will not feel in the spirit of Versus, where we want to reward this competitive performance. Obviously, teams is more than just players, right? There is the infrastructure, coaches, etc. But this will not feel good, right? So we were thinking, what is the right number of players there? We think 3 out of 5 players is a good base. And then look, if the team comes to us and says, hey, this third player, they have a pathway into the LEC, we would like to ask for an exception and only keep 2 out of 5 players.
Case by case.
this would be the prime case of us enabling this. We are doing it for the first time ever. We don't want to like over-engineer the rules.
Makes
right?
sense.
We want to leave ourselves some room there to to make the right call. Like what's the best for these players, for the team, for the league. So the intent is not to the intent is not to limit the career progression of these players because of the LEC versus.
I don't see an issue for the players. I see an issue for the orgs. Because back when I was still good at League of Legends and I was not watched.
I'm sure you are. I'm sure.
I mean,
you're good.
I was there when your Masters was created, and we had the same rules set then.
Oh, gee.
And what kind of happened was players who were connected to the spot, they could just ask the organization for more money. So they're saying, if you don't keep me, you don't keep your spot in the LEC. Right? You have to. And then I was like, back then, I believe I was playing in Mouse or something, or ESG. And I was like, you have to increase my pay, but like 2K, which was a lot back then for esports salaries. And I kind of like, for the orgs, it sounds difficult to kind of address the player leverages. But I mean, as you just said, it's honestly, if it's the first time and you can't over-engineer like every rule.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, again, I believe at least, I don't know how you would answer this, but again, the risks kind of don't outweigh the benefits. Benefits are better. I don't know how do you would.
Yeah, I'm glad you're seeing it the same way. That's how we see it as well.
Check. Cool. I mean, I love LEC Versus. I think it's going to be a great boost as well if Lost Tones actually moves to Berlin. Because for them, it doesn't really apply, right? They will stay together as a team. They're a streamer team, so they have no incentive to leave, I guess. I guess perhaps Baus. Are you guys worried at all? Like Lost Tones breaking up in the middle of the split? Baus clips went viral where he was saying like, it's more becoming professional and not as much of a streamer team, so... Is Lost Tones going to be allowed to stream, for example, LEC matches?
Look, like there are a lot of like what ifs, right? I think it's rather unlikely that a team like drops out like in the middle of the regular season. We'll be working very closely with these teams to support them, right? We understand that they don't have the same level of team management that the LEC teams have, so we'll be granting every team a stipend to participate in the LEC Versus.
Can you name a number?
I won't share the number, but I would just say that we also give them an opportunity if they want to. We can, help them with travel and accommodation at this event. So we'll be supporting like these teams. Anything can like always happen, but we will react accordingly to that. I'm hoping it doesn't come to this. I think we struck a good balance in terms of formats for next year, with spring and summer going all in on best of threes and best of fives.
Yeah.
Best of ones still like squeezed in its way into next year.
Yeah.
We discussed with the LEC teams like closely like what is the best format for the versus, and we thought, hey, like if we are making the points out of this ARL LEC rivalry, then we might as well have a format that has like as many matches of teams playing against each other.
But doesn't that mean the best of three is more matches?
We don't have enough time in winter to do like a full best of three round robin. If we had enough time for that, agree. That would be better. We have a smaller time frame, so we're going for the second best option, which is best of ones.
And top 8 or top 6 makes playoffs? I didn't remember.
Top 8.
Top 8. And then it's best of 3, right?
Yeah. Then it's
that's finals.
Then the first 2 rounds are best of ones. Best of 3s, and then the next ones are best of 5s.
Check.
We've been thinking whether it should be top 6 teams or top 8 teams going. We realized that if we make it we thought, hey, if we make it top 6, then it is like consistent across like the whole year with how playoff works and different competitions, which we thought consistency would be good. But then we realized that with 12 teams and only 6 qualifying, maybe it will create too many matches where that don't matter in the end ultimately, and we increased it to top 8 teams.
Cool. Honestly, I mean, if you don't have any last words for LEC Versus, I think the form is going to be great. Winter's always more exciting because of roster changes and stuff. And do you have like a perfect world? Like, paint me the perfect picture for LEC Versus. What's like the dream scenario from Riot's perspective?
The dream scenario, I think the dream scenario is the two NVT teams, playing well, creating some, having some banger matches, showing some competition like to the LEC teams. I think that would be really nice. It would be cool like if we will have either KCB or Los Heretics. It would be nice to see like the stories created by academy teams playing versus the main team. I think there are like Los Ratones playing is going to be very fun. Some players on their rosters may have some like rivalry with people from the LEC. So I think for me versus is going to be all about packed competition. So a lot of best of ones. We will have 12 teams playing every day. That's the highest number. Wow. That's the highest number of teams we've ever had, in Riot Games Arena. So it's going to be a lot of action. So I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Me too. I think it's going to be a great skirmish. 6 hours every day then, right?
Six best of ones. How long it goes, we'll see. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of action.
Then moving on to spring, I love that you guys are lining up both splits. Which
nice.
like spring is now essentially like only LEC is now only in spring and summer, right? So they're both the same format.
Yes.
And lots of the German casual viewers, at least they're just confused. It's like, what is happening now? Does every team play every week next year?
No. The answer is no. And the reason is why I'm saying this is, let's say, there is international events happening before the spring and summer split.
First stand?
Right, for example, and we want to give a team more rest time after first stand. So we would put them to play first on the second week.
Makes sense.
Right. So in that case, the team will not be. Let's say if Fnatic, goes to first stand, for example, and then they arrive back to Berlin, and we would want to give them like an extra 1 week of rest time before.
So this means
so the intention is to have as many teams playing as possible every week. But if we have good reasons for a team to not play on this week, then we will not have it.
So it's again on a case-by-case basis then?
On a case-by-case basis.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, but you still keep Saturday, Sunday, Monday?
That's currently the plan. Yeah, okay. That's currently the plan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there's also the big caveat is the road trips. So that as well makes things a bit different because for the road trips this year we always had 2 days and we had 4 teams playing on that weekend. So that would also naturally like limit us in how much.
Sure. But the road trips are so worth it. So
yeah, I know. it's a big ritual. Like the whole setup of like when teams play. It's a very complex thing because we need to hit so many. Like we need to do so many things right. We need to make sure that teams play like evenly, like on the even time slots, and make sure that the road trips are accounted for, and make sure we account for international events, etc., etc. So it's always quite fun to set these things up.
I always felt like road trips were amazing. They were a breath of life, especially also for the cast and analysts who were like, I believe especially Shox was like, oh my god, this is like the best thing ever, Jack Spectre as well. And but when I went back to Berlin after to the studio, there were like 10 people there the next day because the bangers are usually like, let's say in Paris, and then the next day is like SK against Navi here, and it was like, oh, there's nobody here now. What do we do about this? And now I noticed as well SK, which is like the only German org next to G2, I guess. They're lifting their office in Berlin and moving to Cologne. So are you guys planning on having Berlin less central? Do you plan to do more remote games? You mentioned more road trips, which I believe to be awesome. In what frequency? Yeah, so on the topic of Berlin and studio versus road trip, when I read fan feedback online, it's almost always like either one or another. I think both have a role to play, like in the LEC, right? The studio provides us
it's a great place to to play predictable like matches, because for a road trip, let's say we organized a road trip with with MKOI this year. For a playoff match, we cannot guarantee that MKOI would play in the playoff, right? So we need to play like that match somewhere. Like it's really hard to play on the road trip, because then you'll be just like hoping that they be there. That's where the studio shines, for example, right? Where we know that on certain days in the year we can go to the studio and the matches will happen there. While the regular season format, there we have much more flexibility with the best of threes, and that's where we can go and play on the road. So the two will be coexisting in the future. We will do more road trips next year. That's the plan. I really wish I could share more, because I'm super excited, but it's pretty difficult with these competitions. These are massive arena events.
Sure.
Organizing them is super hard. So we always need to make sure that our paperwork is in order, everything is signed, and then we can go and announce the things. I would only say that our plans are ambitious. Can't wait to announce it to public and for events to happen.
So you can't share on road trips, but you were saying there's going to be more of them, which is great.
Yeah, they're going to be more.
I assume it's probably going to be French and Spanish, because those crowds are awesome.
TBD. I would say I've been to both events this year, both in Madrid and in Evry. They were absolutely insane. The Spanish one was just insane. GX brought like the whole orchestra out of Malaga, which was crazy. We had all 12 games played out over the weekend. We had sick matches. Players absolutely loved it. The KC event in Evry had a very different style, which was like really the whole like energy from the blue wall was crazy.
Yeah.
I've been to like many esports events like over the past like years. I think the entrance of KC and the whole like the stage ceremony they did is one of the coolest, if not the coolest, like I've
they bring you passion, right?
I've ever seen. I would say that the Madrid the Madrid Summer Split final at the end of the year was also super sick with the whole stage. So
love the stage, hated the 3-0.
I feel you.
Can only imagine.
I feel you, but that's the best we could do is to create these amazing events, create the stage for the players, and then the best team wins. But we loved road trips this year. Fans loved them, so we're bringing more this year.
Which is like the best thing for the tournament as well, because people love when the event is coming to them, and obviously we have so many passionate fans outside of Germany, which has had LEC for so long. So I believe this to be awesome to you guys exploring with like the south of Europe or perhaps even the east. But I don't know if you didn't want to answer or if you couldn't. But are you planning on doing remote matches as well at some point, or are you? Yeah.
So that is one of the considerations we have, which is based on fans really wanting us to run more matches. Right. It is very clear from all the feedback this year.
Yes.
People want to see more matches in the LEC. And for us, it's all about the trade-offs. We cannot have it all, as they say. Like in theory, it is possible to run the full spring split of double, round robin best of threes, but I don't think it's going to be like the LEC that all of the LEC fans will like, because then we would not be able to do road trips, for example. Like we need to decide where we allocate our resources essentially. So one of the scenarios to play more like best of threes in the future, not only next year but in the coming years as well, is remote play. That's something we think about. I personally don't want this to be just make players play online. We tried this before during the during the pandemic. I don't want to just say, okay, players are playing from their homes now. Technically possible, but it's going to be very different product. I think there are ways how we can make like the LEC flavor version of remote play. Let's say, we have teams like KC who have like a stadium, right? In every, maybe they play their matches not from their training facility, but from there, right? With the arena filled with the Wolf fans and other KC fans, and then other team is playing somewhere else. I think there are
interesting.
I think there are many different flavors of how like remote play can happen. Something we consider, but no concrete plans to share right now.
Cool. Interesting. Because I'm sure you've noticed as well. People are always like, how can Europe be better? Especially now during Worlds, how can we get better? So, but you are still saying there's going to be more competition, more games. It's like the thing everybody's asking for, always more games.
Well,
can you give us like an estimate how many more?
Like I'm not gonna promise that like every year after they're gonna be more games. Like next year, the amount of guaranteed games is increasing significantly for the LEC teams, right? Like they'll the
6 more games.
They'll be playing. Think in both in the spring and summer split, they already have like more guaranteed games that they had guaranteed games this year.
What is the numbers? Like 36 games, 28, 24.
Let's do the math afterwards.
Okay.
On the exact number of matches,
yes.
But think of. Like every team, just in spring and summer alone, they're guaranteed to play 18 best of threes,
cool.
Right?
Yeah.
So 18 times 2, it's 36 games.
Because in summer we had 4. So like that's way better.
Yeah,
that's a way better number.
No, we didn't have 4. We had
4 best of threes.
We had 8 guaranteed games, right?
Because you
4 best of threes, right?
Yes.
So 4 best of threes. This is guaranteed. With 2 O's, it's guaranteed 8 games.
Yes, but that's still 8 games.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 8 games. It's not great, right? So yes. we're going from last year 8 games in summer, in 18 games in spring.
Way better. Yeah.
Right. Next year, this number will grow. Also through the versus, where we'll have 2 teams more.
Sure.
So there is much more games happening next year. I saw yesterday Namira did the full math analysis on.
I didn't see that.
So go check this out. So that's the trajectory.
Cool.
Right
I did not see Namira tweeting anything, but I saw a statistic. Couple viewers who are tracking LEC viewership. I don't know. You guys probably have better numbers to share.
Different numbers from what the this is based on ES charts, right?
Yes. I have to copy paste the audio source because I fucked up. Hear you? Yes.
Yeah.
My bad.
Okay. So the ES charts has the benefit of speed, where they quickly pick up the numbers, but they're not always accurate. We have our internal system where we accurately track viewership for the LEC. The viewership this year was really good. We're actually working right now on some metrics to share officially with the fans on socials. I would have shared it right now if we already didn't have planned to go and talk about them. So stay tuned on the LEC X in the coming weeks.
I just hated. The only reason I wanted to show this, even though it's a fan-made source, not your source, is I hated this narrative of we have to have lost returns in LEC because LEC needs viewership. It's LEC was great, no? It was a good year.
It was a good year, right? And over the past years, we've been going from strength to strength in terms of viewership. We have super passionate fans. We implemented our cost streaming program, which is doing really well, bringing a lot of fans like gradually from different parts of the world with focus on EMEA, but we had viewership in Korea and Vietnam really popping this year. So
crazy.
Shout out to all fans out there.
How does this even happen? They had like a big scandal and they still managed to get the viewers up.
It's great. So I think on that front, we are pretty happy. But sky's the limit.
Yeah, I mean, I think LEC is going to have a bright future, but I'm not sure if you also. I mean, I wanted to ask you stuff about ERL questions as well. Because ERL is kind of suffering in comparison, which I believe also LEC Versus is like a nice incentive to have them go up. And you mentioned at the beginning of this interview that LEC teams obviously they do get benefits in terms of having team emojis and stuff as well. And we had like, for example, Anta Spando's manager ask if it's possible to also help ERL teams out because they can't promote. They don't really have a good like way to go up anywhere. So how can you help ERL teams to actually like go further than just winning your masters as Lost Tones did or as K-Cop or Radix will, and then there's nothing else. What can EL teams do to be more like also economically viable?
Yeah, look, I also want as a fan, as a viewer, like I also want to have like more opportunities for tier 2 teams to grow. I think our ERL and EM ecosystem is one of the best things we have in the region. So I also want to have more of this. That said, we gotta prioritize like where we put like our resources. Specifically what I see like called out here with the opportunity for monetization, that is something that is clearly staying exclusive for the LEC teams. And coming back to the beginning of our talk, right? Like this is one of the like privileges of being in the LEC team, right? On the other hand, with the tier 2 ecosystem, we are creating products like LEC Versus to create some
more
movement and incentive there.
Danke für den Baba-Content. Bleibt stabil.
These things. There's also like there is a lot of things being done just by teams themselves, by creators, by third-party organizers, and we would like to do more in the future as well. Like we monitor like very closely the feedback around EM, ERLs. I know we are very, very quick to adjust the format as well if something is not working out. Like I'm not working. I don't do much on the LEC, on the ERL and EM front. Like my primary focus at Riot is LEC, but obviously like we're part of the same team, and I talk a lot to them, and I follow a lot the system, and I see how fast they react, how frequent they talk to the organizers, right? So they're doing a great job, and they're always trying to make this system better, more sustainable, etc.
Interesting, because I felt like ERL kind of suffered a bit due to having like now even parallel schedules with Worlds, but like it's after semifinals, right, in Paris, I believe it was in Paris. Like I believe EU Masters finals in Paris.
Yeah, they are like 2nd of November.
2nd November, 2 semifinals, and ERL teams kind of have the issue of if they can't go up, then what is their purpose? And if it's just to build like talents which are then bought out into the LEC. Like the only thing connected LEC and ERL teams is now LEC Versus. Is that the plan for franchising long term? That's the only connection here? Because you mentioned Spring and Summer's not getting any lifted, nothing?
I mean, we also have success stories with ERL teams and EM teams then getting a slot in the LEC, right?
If they have 30 million.
20
million.
A number,
15 million.
But that is part of the game to get this privilege to access to the if you want to win Worlds,
you need 30 million.
like you need to be part of this long-term program, right? If you want to benefit from this in-game incentives, you need to be part of the program. So it is both. Like of course, the tier 2 ecosystem is the training ground for the new talents who will join the LEC, who will also join the competitions, like the LEC Versus. But that's also an opportunity for organizations to grow there and then get their shot in actually joining like LEC as a long-term partner.
Check. Right. For me, that's about it. I mean, I don't know how much time you have left.
I have time.
Chat, if you have questions as well, we can Twitter, Instagram, Twitch.
Yeah, I think we have like a half an hour more.
Chilling.
So yeah.
Chilling. Because I mean, obviously, I had some angry French people DM me, but some of them you can't just give me just pointless. And some of them are the questions we were already asking, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
both Twitter.
Yeah, look up the questions. Like if there is anything good you want to ask. Let me also check out the chat.
Yeah, I mean, just the Casey pessimist. I mean, even the name tells the story. He's asking if, like, of course, since there's already rumors about K-Cop changing 2 positions, but you already addressed this with players case by case. You answered this.
Yeah, we spoke about this one. Mm-hmm.
How does cost structure change for production LECT?
Mm-hmm. The cost structure for production change, having more costume for the others seeing more costumes. Ooh, that's an interesting one.
I'm not even sure what the question means, bro. I have no clue.
Yeah.
More costumes for LEC, like production change with having more costumes. I mean, I guess he's alluding to like when LEC was having layoff, like routed layoffs of like 500 people. More costumes came in, and there were like less companies producing national feeds or something.
Yeah, I think so. Like these two things are disconnected. Like the layoffs that happened last year, they were company-wide things, like not related to LEC specifically. Mm-hmm. Like us doing cost streaming was related to the very vibrant creator scene in EMEA that we wanted to showcase. We also like in a very unique position globally where we have team owners who are also big creators. Mm-hmm. And I think the simple way to put this on the question we have here is, hey, like, are you like spending less money because you have like costumers now, which is, us doing costuming is not like always saving us money. I'll bring you an example. When we go to a road trip, right? Or let's take example of the Madrid Summer Split final we had. We brought like 4 costuming booths there, right? And like each costuming booth, could host like up to like 5-6 like people out there, depending on preferences, of the creators. Like that costs money to organize these things, to fly people out to the event. We also need infrastructure to enable, to make costuming work. We have the costuming booth in the studio that are being used by the LEC teams. We also have tech that we are operating to make sure that all the costumers are getting like specific feed. So this is a more complex like question than that. Also saw a question there around Fearless. Fearless, is performing really good for us this year. Very happy how this experimentation, very happy with how this experimentation went. In the beginning of the year, like the decision whether it stays or not next year is made not within like LEC on the in vacuum. This is where we work very closely with the regional leads from all leagues across the world, right? So once the Worlds is over, it's the first time we're doing Fearless for Worlds. So once the event is over, we are sitting down together, reviewing this year, how it go, and then making decision for next year.
Closer question connected to LEC is like we have a precedent with an A having guest slots. So like were LEC guest slots an option?
Were guest slots like I'll say. Can you remind me what exactly system they're like referring to? Where
I watched a lot of NA this year.
I think look I will reiterate what we spoke about in the beginning. Our current agreement with LEC teams allows us to run competitions like versus. But there are no conversations right now on the table for us on expanding the number of the LEC teams, changing something in the structure there.
Check.
So things are staying
Guess that's not an option.
As they are now.
Check. I mean, you already kind of answered this, but I mean, just taking questions into account. I mean, it's basically the same question. More EL teams joining LEC and playing for short amounts. You already answered this.
Yeah, and again, like, look, if the versus is a success, maybe there is space for like third-party organizers to do more competitions like this in the off season. There is no like, it doesn't like this competition doesn't have to be run by us, and I think off season is a cool space to run this stuff. So for us, it's a proof of concept on how this could work.
An interesting question I saw asked on Twitter was, LEC is technically 18 years old. That's the entry age, right? And ERLs are not. So if you want to keep the system you have now for next year, then there might be people who are not allowed to play LEC even though they're promoted to LEC versus. We always assumed LEC changed their age of registration because of alcoholic sponsors or something. So is there anything you can add?
So for the versus, the restriction is going to be for all teams, that both for ERL teams and for the LEC teams, which is it has to be 18 plus. For how would it change in the future? No concrete plans, thoughts so far.
Also, interesting thought, which I believe some K-Cop fan mentioned. If K-Cop is now, K-Cop Blue is now participating in winter in LEC, they can't play ERL winter, right? Because they are playing LEC. So how can you then have them win winter and spring and be the most dominant team the year if they only play 2 EU Masters instead of 3?
Yeah, it's a good question. We are currently in discussions with the ARL organizers on how to balance that. One of the ideas that we're currently considering is that the 2 teams playing in the versus, they're getting automatically qualified for the playoffs of their respective of ERL.
ERL, check. Okay.
Of ERL. And then if ERL playoffs start before, while the team is still in competition in the versus, then we would permit them to play in both competitions.
They can play both at the same time?
Yeah, if that
wow.
if that's calendar-wise, that's the only way to do it. Again, we are not here to restrict, I saw pessimistic comments online, talking about us restricting players. We want to create more opportunities, not less. And one of the reasons why we are, leaving ourselves space to adjust things on a case-by-case basis, because we want to, if there is a scenario we did not consider that is hurting a player or a team in a bad way, we want to have an option to evaluate it and to change it. But again, we're having a conversation with the ARL organizers right now.
I think it's awesome you guys allowed them to play both tournaments, but it just sounds like an insane schedule. Because usually ERL is always on when LEC is not on, so to just play all the time. I know you just mentioned playoffs only, but that sounds like an insane schedule.
Yeah, look, and we are this is going to be one part of the equation. Maybe the team would not want to play this, right? But we want to give them that option, cool. if they want to.
They can choose. Oh. Why not? Oh yeah, also this was asked a lot. Back then we had Rift Rivals, now we had Asia Invitational. Any more EU LEC versus LCS tournaments coming up in the future?
Well, wait, the Worlds wasn't enough,
I love Worlds.
Yeah, the G2 Fly was pretty good series, right?
3 years. Yes.
We were all screaming
Same.
in the office, everybody were following. You cannot imagine how crazy we are about these things. It was a shame that it would have been fun to see MCoy play Fly. I was hoping for that, but hey, G2 versus Fly will give us bragging rights for some time now. No concrete plans
Check.
Not
It's also way too
right
tight
now.
of a schedule, no? There's like so many games now.
We have so much competition happening, man. Like between the like what the stuff we do in the MEA, LEC, EM, ERL, third-party tournaments, like First Stand now being in the mix, MSI Worlds. There's a lot of competition happening, which is ultimately great, great for the fans. For
I
us.
was at the same months as well. It's like even with EWC, First Stand, there's so many games all the time. Atlantic Showdown. Oh yeah!
Yes. Yes.
That would be fun as well. Also, just a question: if you have, I guess you can't really. If you have any suggestions about getting a better scrim environment for the LEC teams, because all the teams always mention that only official games count. Scrims don't really matter. Obviously they do to a degree, but they want more official games because the practice is not good enough in scrims. So, I don't know how you would address this. Is LEC supposed to give like prize money if you win scrims? I don't know.
Do you have any suggestion about getting a better scrim environment for LEC teams or maybe international scrims? That's a really good question, and this is one of the ideas we would, for example, discuss with the LEC teams. Obviously they have like a big stake in this. I think people underestimating in general how much we work together with the LEC teams. Again, we're talking to them pretty much every day, and I'm gonna note this one down and talk to them.
I wouldn't know how you can help.
We are in a situation where we just have so much competition right now. So it's hard to slot things in. But this is also one of the things that we would want LEC teams to push us to do more, because we need to pick what we focus on. Next year, LEC versus is one of our biggest bets we do next year, and the road trips again, more are coming. They take a lot of energy to do, and both fans and teams want to do more of this. If teams tell us that, hey, we want you to prioritize creating a pathway for us to scrim more internationally, then that's something we would as well consider.
Check. Another interesting idea we had was, let me scroll up to it back again. LEC, where was it? Back last year we had, this year as well, there was a sentiment going around that Valorant has to share the arena with Berlin. So there's too few days in the week to actually host competition. So it's an idea to go more to Korea or China style, to have more days of the week being played.
For now, we are planning to stick to our a 3-day schedule. I understand the fan feedback that, especially in summer, our schedule wasn't consistent. I also, I want to emphasize that for majority of the year, LEC has the studio on the weekends to run our shows, and it is quite rare that we we need to move things around for VCT to usually run their finals of their league. So the plan for now to stick as a 3-day show week.
So makes sense. I always answer this question because people ask us a lot. It's we also don't have, I believe we don't have the amount of viewers to sustain China's schedule. I feel every single day, 3 matches. It's way too much, in my opinion at least. But I think it's great to hear from you that Valorant is not getting priority, because this is what people kind of feel in the community. Even though when you look at the calendar, it's LEC always has Sunday. So
look, from my perspective as a long time esports fan and esports believer, I've been connecting my life to esports for the past 15 years. I love to see that Riot goes big on esports. I love to see that that Riot is organizing LEC, that Riot is organizing like VCT EMEA. This is great. This shows the commitment to esports as part of our company DNA. The trade-off is that we need to sometimes like share like our weekend, and I think it's a trade-off worth taking. I also want to mention that one of the solutions that both fans rightfully called out on socials and that we also saw is to run road trips on the week that Valorant is having their final. So that's one of the things we are actually, we already did it this year, and we are looking at it again. Like if we know like they want to do a certain weekend, they want to run their final, we see if we can do like a road trip on that weekend. Obviously pretty complex because a lot of things like need to align in terms of format, but if that saves us like one weekend where we can play like on the weekend and they can play on the weekend, that's great.
Cool. I think that's a great answer. I mean, that's just managing the best of both worlds, I think. A common sentiment which was asked again is like better monetization options both for Real teams as well as LEC, which is like people are just wondering, if I can play devil's advocate here, why we have like 500 euro Gamba skins, gambling skins, as opposed to just like creating creator-based emotes, like let's say Kamikor, Kameto emote, or Ibai, or even Tyler von Draven, or let's say Noel for you, sir, Victor or something, and why there's like not a better option to both give the community like a feeling of belonging, which like if we have this community, we have like this emote, and also like helping the teams which are, especially in the earls, kind of in need of money.
I mean, I think we spoke about this a little bit. Like the focus is on like when it comes to the in-game financial incentives, the focus is on providing these benefits to our for our partner teams, not only in EMEA but across the world, right? And part of the equation for this making sense, like this opportunity needs to be more like exclusive, right? If you like do too much like in-game content, like this could also hurt. So like we are specifically for tier 2 ecosystem, like our plan is to support it in other ways. Maybe in the future, we change like our approach.
I kind of hope you guys do, because it feels strange, because I was watching Worlds and the Vietnamese team was always spamming Solo Gesangs emote, which is like a TFT streamer. So like TFT streamers have League of Legends emotes, but League of Legends big organizations are not permitted because this is too exclusive, but TFT does, even though, I mean, I love Solo Gesang, but it's just, it just feels strange to me, It's like, why wouldn't you help Eintracht Spandau, for example, who kind of need money, or even, I don't know, different orgs. Now we have like, who's leaving LFL again, like I think Gamma's Origin is leaving and stuff. So why wouldn't we help these teams, but we have TFT streamers in our game, even at Worlds present, right? It's like, it's just strange logic to me.
It's I understand. It's a good feedback, to us. Like we have a very big ecosystem with like different ways to experience like the world of Runeterra, like with TFT, with League, with Wild Rift, and we are trying to like create amazing experiences for like all of this like players. It's hard to make like everybody happy. We're not pizza,
Check.
But the way to look at this as well is some of the in-game items we have on sale, like they are benefiting the like esport ecosystem at Riot in general, and part of this money it goes directly to the LEC teams, but part of this money goes to Riot, right? And for us to run something like LEC Versus, it costs us extra money, right? Because we are increasing like the amount of show days we will do in the studio. So I understand that fans really want like a very direct,
but
like fans want like a really direct, like, hey, this is my favorite like creator who is in this tier 2 team. They created like their emote. I can buy it. It's a very like direct connection to the team that they support. But also like by buying esports connected items like the support, like as well ERLs in another way, where we go and we create competitions like Versus, for example.
I love Versus. I love the example you gave, but I mean, this format is really just benefiting teams who are already successful. Because I mean, you're creating an incentive to be good, but the teams who are participating are rich organizations. I mean, it's Streamer Team, Enteretics, and K-Corp. So it's not really for the like usual ERL team. It's like for the big dogs, you know. But I mean, it's still good for lower tier teams to have now an incentive to get good, I guess. Just get good. Just get good. All right, I believe you answered most of the questions.
Nice.
Honestly. I mean, I think we, especially in the beginning, had like a nice umfangreichen talk. I don't know the English expression for umfangreich.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
How many viewers do we actually have?
I have no idea.
Probably not too much, or
it's like 8,000.
Oh, it's not bad.
And on
it's not bad at all.
YouTube, we still on 2K.
Okay, not bad at all.
We chilling. Weil er spricht Deutsch, er spricht ein bisschen Deutsch, ja.
Ein bisschen kann ich. Willst du auf Deutsch reden?
I don't know if there's like still international fans. I want to give them a chance to ask questions, but most of them already kind of answered.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm down to switch to German. I don't mind. I believe most of the people in the chat are also German, but I noticed some new chatters. Okay,
then können wir machen. Yeah, for folks who like, if you ask your question and we didn't, if we didn't cover it today, I will also, like on Monday, I'll go through X and all the feedback we received around Versus. If I see there are like big themes, big questions that are not answered, I'll just go like on X and we'll answer them.
You can scroll through, but you covered it kind of.
Exactly. Like I'll see what we didn't answer, and I also plan to do more AMAs on X in general. So stay tuned for more news around 2026 in the coming month. And yeah, I'll be on lookout for fan questions and maybe do more streams in the future as well.
It's kind of crazy. I don't know which other developer does this to go like for 1.5 hours to just talk. I mean, I hope I didn't ask too many. I asked some questions I don't even myself believe in, but they're just important because
I appreciate it. You did a great job and like playing devil's advocate on some like topics, and I hope I gave some insight to people like in the way how we think. So stay tuned for more English interviews in the future.
Cool. He's asking for word script. I doubt he has the word script, guys. He's Europe, not.
I love like my favorite part about Worlds is because like as a commissioner like I cannot cheer for like an LEC teams when the LEC is happening because I gotta stay unbiased, but like once like Worlds start, that's when we can go crazy. So I know like most of the chat is probably like T1 enjoyers here like on Tolkien stream, but send your energy to MKOI tomorrow. How insane would it be to have two EMEA teams in the in top 8, but and then of course G2 like super impressive like run. I'm really glad they got that win. They got that far, like seeing all this hard work being rewarded.
Now, if Movistar actually wins, it will be the first time ever T1 is knocked out of Worlds before semifinals. If this was to happen at the hands of an EU team, this timeline it's too crazy now. It's way too crazy of a timeline. There's no way. Too crazy of a timeline.
Okay,
no.
Okay.
I think all my hopium goes straight to G2. Just straight stonks.
All right.
Play FlyQuest or someone, I don't know. Hope for the best.
Yes.
Oh well. Sacrifice Movistar for T1 win. No, for T1 win and G2 win. What's like your favorite scenario for a final? Would you have like G2 versus T1, G2 versus Movistar, G2 versus BLG in China?
I think seeing. Look. I don't want to appear like I'm breathing too much like hopium, but we saw EU team in the final already. So I think anything more than 0-3 there would be like really like would be the dream. But I think I think G2 is the team. Like for them, like top 8 is not good enough. Semis is not good enough. Like for them, it's not like, oh, you know, we went to semis. Like that was great.
Really?
Like this is the. Don't get me wrong. Like this would be like amazing achievement, right? And we're all gonna be like super happy. But like this is one of the orgs that wants to win worlds. Like that's the ultimate goal, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure like for MKOI, like this is also like an ultimate goal for them to win international events. So you gotta dream big, right? But
sure.
Let's see how the games go tomorrow.
If you go in already with mindset, you're gonna be defeated. It's as long as there's illusion, there's hope. That's like the perfect sentiment to end the stream on, honestly.
Okay, perfect.
Because I mean, for tomorrow we need a lot of delusion, and then there's hope.